Hi everyone, and welcome to a new video. In this video, I thought I'll do two Skweb averages reconstructions for my competition my last weekend. The competition was called Come Back to Tofta 2025, and I had two Skweb averages. In the first round, I got a 283 average of 5, which was PR2, and a very good average for me. And in the second round, I got first place with an average of 317, which is not as good, but it's okay. And I also got a 164 PR single on the first solve. But without further ado, let's get started with the first round. I'm gonna show you the solves before the reconstructions also. I also forgot to mention that the scrambles will be linked in the description and be shown on top of the screen. But now, let's get started with the first scramble. Okay, so this was the first scramble. And on the solve, I actually didn't find anything too great. The first thing I looked at was on red, but I couldn't find anything great. You can twist this corner and then solve this corner, but that leaves a very bad MS, and I didn't even want to look the layer as well. So I maybe could have gone like a 4 on that scramble. Oops, I miscrambled. But as you may know, a 4 is really not is really not something you should start out the average with. As if you would, then you would pretty much have to get 4 good solves to end average with. Anyways, what I did instead was on white. I first solved this corner, and then I solved this corner like this, and then I was left with this one move. So that's the rotationless layer, and quite finger trick friendly. But then I got this 7 move NS, which I really dislike. It goes like this. So I managed to get a 317, I believe, with a 2-look. So that was actually quite decent for me. But I think if I would have 1-looked, then the solution would have been much better. I can actually try it. Or maybe I might. We'll see what I can get. Let's see. Did I scramble right? Yes, I did. Okay. And okay, so this corner first, and then this corner, and then this corner. All right. So if you ignore that I got a +2, I got a 283 on the first scramble, with a 1-look instead of a 2-look. So the solve I got in competition was actually really good. But anyways, let's move on to the second scramble. Oh, little cups. Alright, so here is the next scramble. Okay, I remember this. So on the scramble, the only thing I looked at was this green layer, because I really wanted to find the 1-look solution and time enough. So that's what I managed to do. If you don't know how to solve this green layer, what you do is basically cancel into this layer, and the way you solve this layer starts with a little r prime. So if you are from this position, you can do a little r, and then continue with the solution like this, and then the layer is solved. And the way I will look this case, by the way, is these 2 corners stay, these centers swap, and these centers swap. So I saw in 15 seconds that if I would do this center would become opposite, and I would get a hedge from here. And this NSL is actually not bad. It goes like this, and then hedge like that. So once again, that was a 1 luck, and I think I got a 271 on that scramble, which is actually locked up on the last 4 moves, as you may have seen. It was when after I rotated over here, I locked up during my last 4 moves like this, and it should have been like a 2.5, but I still think I got a decent time, because a 3.1 and a 2.7 is really good back-to-back times, and from that point I had safetied a quite good start. So I'm gonna try to do it right now. So right now I got a 2.50, which is it's actually not bad. It's 0.2 better than I got in my during the competition. And what I think I should have done better on the scramble is not lock up during the last 4 moves. And yeah, that's basically the only thing. So I need to handle my nerves a bit better going into my next competition. So now we're gonna do first scramble, and on the scramble I actually got my best time of the round. It was my second best time of the round, and I think I got a 2.63 on that one. So what I did basically is I looked on green once again, and I saw that we could cancel into this layer solution. So when you do this layer, the first move of the layer alg starts like this. So if you're from here, you can basically do 1 move to cancel into the layer alg and do these 3 moves, and then you get these this okay NS alg. You're gonna do it from a weird angle. You do it from this angle, and then you do 1 move, and then twist this corner, and then you're left with 3 moves. So I think this solve could have been much better, even though it's my second fastest time of the run. But anyways, my full solution would be from here to do the 4 move layer like this. No, the 3 move layer actually, and then this NS alg. But here's the thing. I actually could have done a much better alg than what I did in my solve, because if we do once after we've done the green layer, you're set up to do this alg that goes like this. So from this position, instead of rotating and then do the alg that I did, you can do the alg that's easier and less locky. So that should have been that was quite a dumb solution by me, and I think with this solution maybe at the comp could have gone like a 2.3, which would have put me in a really good position going into the last 2 solves. So I'm gonna try both solutions, and first the one that I did versus the solution I should have done. So let's get started with the first one. Okay, that was a fumbly timer stop, but I got a 256 on the first one, which was quite good. And then on the second one, so wait, let me mark this. All right, I got a 2 out of 2, so that was that was a really good performance. With the fact that you have to do 2 or maybe 3 rotations, while in the solve that I did, I also got 3 rotations. But anyways, that was my second fastest time of the round, and here's the this time of 4 seconds. So jumping into the 4th scramble. On this solo, I think I got my worst time. Let's see if I remember what I did. Right, I remembered. So basically what I did is I one-looked orange, and I locked up really bad, basically. So what it is, I twisted this corner this way, and then I saw this corner in one move, and then I was left with this OKNS. What you do is you do big B and then sledge cancel like that, and then you solve this corner like this. So I managed to lock up quite a decent amount, but I still don't think that I could have gone like a 2.5 or a 2.7 even. So I'm actually, yeah, this scramble is not even, I don't think there's anything good on this scramble other than the solution I did. Maybe white has 4 moves, and it gives an okay case. So maybe that could have been better, but I think that solution was actually a little bit harder to one look, since it was very, I don't know, it was not a lot of patterns on that scramble anyways. So my first solution on this scramble will be from here to do twist this corner, last move, and then into this NSL. And that was my worst time of the average. I think I got a 3.4 on that scramble. Okay, so we're jumping into the 5th scramble. This was my best time of the round. On the scramble, I got a 2 flats, which was PR3, I think, before the round, not after the comp. Now the solve is PR4. But anyways, this is the scramble. I only looked on white because there's one move into this one look pattern, which goes like this. And then I'll get this really easy NSL, which is only 7 moves. So let me do that scramble again. For those who don't know, the way this one move pattern works is these 2 centers swap and these 2 centers swap, and these 2 corners stay. So after I done this, I knew that the center would be opposite to the layer, and I would have my yellow center here, and it was gonna be what perm. So full solution once again would be from here to do one move, solve this layer, and then go straight into the NSL. So I'm actually gonna time that solve, because I think I performed it quite good for being in comp. So let's try it. Okay, that was also another from like timer stop, but I got a 2.2. It should have been like a 1.9, but I think I actually executed this quite good in competition. So that solve ended up getting me my best possible average, and I think a 2.87 average. Don't get me wrong. But yeah, that was basically the first average. This also placed me first in the first round. And let's go to the final round. Let's go. Okay everyone, so I'm back now 2 days later, and I will reconstruct my winning average at Comeback to Tofta 2025, which I believe was like a 3.1 average. So let's get started with the first scramble. Okay, so here's the first scramble on top of the screen. And okay, so this is actually my PR single scramble, and I looked at 2 solutions. The first one was on orange, where you could do 2 moves into this pattern, but it leaves with a very mid NS case, and you can do it in like 2.8, which is not ideal. So what I looked at instead was on yellow, where you could do this a pre-made pattern, which is also 2 moves into this twisted layer. So the way I executed the layer was like this, and then I knew that I was gonna get sledge cancel from this position, so that was actually a very, very good scramble. Looks like I scrambled. So I think also I had extremely low TPS during my solution. Maybe it was like 7 to 8 TPS, which I don't think I ever got in competition before. So I will retry it. I will bring my camera closer. Here we go. Okay, I got a 1.60, or maybe I just used to the layer, but I think I got a really good time as for in competition. But otherwise, I don't think there's anything others that stood out on the scramble. Like blue is bad. 2 moves into this, which is even worse. And the other colors, I don't also think would have given me any short last layers too. So yeah, really happy with that solve. Nej, ni svalnar. Yeah. Right, so moving on to the second scramble. This was a 6, I believe, because I missed 1 looked layer. So I actually don't remember what I did here. I think, oh yes, I think what I did is I first saw this corner, and then I thought I would, get this pattern, but instead I got this pattern. So yeah, really unlucky. So anyways, I just did this. Wait. Oops, what happened? I think I remember what I did. Or did I? Yes, I did yellow into this pattern. Which left me with, I believe, me trying to do this NS case into pure peanut. So anyways, I don't think it also was anything too noticeable on that scramble. If I would have done yellow correctly by doing these 2 moves and then these 3 moves, it would have given me a very bad NS that you can just do Sarah's advanced instead for. And I also think the other colors were very bad. Twisting this corner would have given me triple sledge, and yeah, that's pretty much the only good solutions that I could find. So anyways, that was the 6, and from there on I was really nervous, because if I could get like 1 counting sub 1, then I could just safety NR average, and if I got 2 following up high 2s, then I would have to get a really good time on the last one, which is actually what happened. But I couldn't find anything on the last scramble. Anyways, let's move on to the third one. So now we're moving on to the third scramble. I think this saw was actually I believe this saw was a 2.8 or a 2.6. And okay, let's see what I did here. I did not do this, I believe. No, that would actually been really good. Let's check. Scramble once again. I did not do this. No, I did not do this. But that one would also been really good because you can cancel. Oh, I missed some quite good solutions in the scramble. But I can't remember what I did. Wait a minute. So okay, I'm actually gonna go back, check the footage, and see what I did. I'll be back in a minute. Okay, everyone, so I am back now with the third scramble. And after checking the footage, I think I actually did yellow like this. yes, I did the yellow like that, which was really weird because you could do it a much shorter layer, which I like barely noticed. You could on yellow do this into a solid NS case really fast solid, but instead I first solve this corner, then this corner, and then this corner, all one by one, which was a big mistake. I think I could have gotten like some really fast times if I just checked some other solutions. But what was the main solution I missed? It was like 3 moves cancelling into H-perm cancel, I believe. Let's do the scrambles again. 3 moves cancelling into H-perm cancel. Where, oh yeah, on blue we could do this and then cancel into H-perm cancel, which is like barely any moves. So let's see how I would one look that. So doing this, so this will stay here, and then the green center, and then sledge, and then this corner here. Oh, that's like 10 moves. Okay, that was a really good solution that I missed. The third scramble had a lot of potential, but I'm still happy that I managed to get a 2.6 or a 2.8 on that scramble. Moving on to the fourth one. This was, I believe, a 2.8. And on the scramble, I cannot see anything. Maybe I have to go back to the footage and see what I did. I don't think I did this, did I? No, I definitely didn't. Let's check. Scramble. Okay. I will go back to the footage and see what I did once again. Okay, I'm back for the second time after not remembering what I did on the scramble. And I actually think I did the white layer. So I started by solving these 2 corners first, like this, and then I quickly rotated to solve this corner. And then I sort of half one looked that these centers would be opposite and that the center would be here. So after that, I could just go straight into the pi plus expert. So that was actually a really good solution to do with 2.8 with a half one look. But I will actually try to scramble right now, so we'll see what I can get. I locked up really bad and I got a 3.3. So I think I got it really good in the competition. But I was still kind of upset that I couldn't find anything great, as you could have seen. But without further ado, let's get on to the third scramble. Sorry, the last scramble. Okay, so here is the 5th scramble. And I remember this one had a big block on green. Yes, it had. So, oh, sorry. The thing I actually did on the scramble was the very obvious solution on green. The way I do this layer is I do 1 move to this case. And after that, I was left with this pi plus swirl, which starts with sledge and finish off with a normal swirl. The thing about the scramble though is what would have happened if I want to look different solutions. So I did this small rotation into this Venezuela, really good. But what I think also could have been sort of good is this into 8C and this alg. Goes like this. I don't think any other layers would have been good though. Maybe this would have been kind of good, yes, because then you're left with just this swirl, and I think I could have maybe gotten a row 2 on that, or maybe not. But it is kind of good though. Was it? I don't know. I don't think it's better than what I did actually, which is kind of unfortunate. But anyways, the full solution I did was actually the same solution. So I solid layer like this, small rotation, sledge, finish off the alg. and I actually got a cube drop in the middle of it. I think I actually got a cube drop like not but maybe here I got a cube drop, and I had to fix the last 4 moves and still got like a 3.7, which is really good. But anyways, that was actually the last breakdown of my 10 solves in Compacted Tofta. So I think it was a very good comp for me, and I look forward to my next competition where I have 3 rounds in Denmark actually. Hope to get my NR there and my redemption. I will practice a lot for that competition, and see you next time.